Welcome. You're listening to the very first episode of the Adapt or Die podcast. I'm your host, Armel Tala, and I'm joined here today with one of my good friends, Devin. What's up, Dev?
What's up? Happy to be here.
And I'm glad you're here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, bro. Like, introduce yourself to the people, the fans.
So obviously my name is Devin. I'm a social media influencer. I'm on Tik Tok, Instagram. I used to make a group called SDG, Social Demographic Group. And I'm just here today to just hang out, talk about what do we need to talk about.
And today's first episode is going to just be an introduction. We're going to get y'all to understand what is self-care, what is self-love. Like that's the whole idea of this podcast, is trying to make yourself a better person. That's what AOD is built on. It's the idea that you're going to have to be able to adapt to the surroundings. And so we're not going to limit what we talk about here. We're going to talk about everything that has to do with life. This is real life. We want y'all to understand that mental health isn't just a little tips and trick on how to like meditate or anything like that. It's so much deeper. It has everything to do with who you are and what's around you. And that's exactly why we said adapt or die, because you're either going to adapt to your surroundings or you're going to die. We are animals. That is adapt or die. Brought to you by Adapt or Die Society. Disclaimer, this is not medical advice. Please go see a doctor if you're seeking professional medical advice. We are just sharing our experiences. We're going to present facts and information later down the road. Get rolling. Where do we start? What is self-care? What do you think that is, Dev?
Self-care. So self-care to me is really just taking care about yourself. That's very, very obvious. And just, taking care of your body, your mental, eating right, feeling good about yourself and just being happy in general.
It's kind of connected in three ways. You kind of look at it. I was reading something. It said something about it's your mind, the spirit, and your body, and essentially that's we have our physical presence here. We understand that our mind, our conscious, is something that is so deep and like practically undiscovered. Scientists are still trying to understand how the conscious works, and then we have our spirit, like spirituality, that's going religion and whatever else you do believe
beliefs,
in.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's. We're gonna try to cover every one of those topics. Like I said, we're gonna go in depth, and that's simply what it is. But to me, the biggest thing what self-care is, when I got into this journey myself, was being comfortable, being uncomfortable, which is kind of really hard to say. But I think a lot of the issues that people have is they ignore the ugly in them. You know what I'm talking about? Like they ignore because it's hard to like look at yourself in the mirror and say, damn, like I'm really not good at this. Like, dang, like I'm kind of messed up in this way.
So sorry to interrupt you, but like our mind is really programmed to really think negative about ourselves. Like we never taken the time to really think about, the positive things and the good things that we've done for ourselves.
Yeah. It's tackling. It's like a lot. Our mind does that a lot. We're going to like, if we fail, we automatically think, oh, we're a failure, or we're this, we're that. Like it's accepting the reality that you failed, but looking at it in a positive way, turning it that way. It's like turn that negative mindset of yours into a positive. And everything that mainly we're going to talk about is, one, just being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and two, your mindset. I truly do believe that determines everything. You talk about some of the greatest athletes in the world. You talk about some of the greatest musicians. You talk about some of the greatest actors. The greatest, the best, their mindsets are completely different than anybody else. It's not just a hard work mindset, but it's they understand themselves to a deep level, a true level, like who I am, what I want to do. And before you can reach that point, you have to get through the uglies about yourself. You have to know your limits, you're bad, and I believe you got to accept what you can't change. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. I think like people will be very negative about themselves, about like the type of body they have, the type of hair, or something they can't control, their height. Mm-hmm. But something is, once you get into self-care, get into that self-love, you'll understand like, shit, I can't change this, but I can make use of it. I can utilize it to your strength. There's strengths and advantages of everything we have it as ourselves. Like we were built different. We're all built different, which that's the slogan. If y'all didn't know, built different, AOD. And you want to pronounce AOD properly, it's odd. Exactly. Shout out to Devin for that. It's odd because we're different. We're built different. We're built different. And honestly, but anything else you have on that? Well, I think to begin with, just kind of an icebreaker. We're gonna break into the whole misconceptions. Just a little. We're gonna start light. And one of the first ones that you hear a lot about self-care is that self-care is kind of feminine. Right now you're seeing two dudes. This is not just our team's not just limited to two dudes, right? Or like three. You see two dudes talking. We got my boy Draylin. I didn't even introduce him. Draylin right here, main man, technical. We're recording at his place. You see the background. This took a lot of work.
Very blessed to be here.
Like very, very blessed. Shout out to Draylin and his parents for letting us do this at his crib. Because honestly, we could have started off in like a box. We could start off in a shoebox. Like, we could start out recording out of anything, but I didn't want us. Yeah. I didn't want us to. I want us to have a professional look because this is something we're trying to seriously do. We're trying to reach people, right? Yeah, Jack's audience makes it look nice. That's where we're recording. What's up, YouTube? Y'all go subscribe to the YouTube too. Adapt or die. Of course. So we're gonna start off. Feminine, like, what do you think about that? Like, is that a myth? You think that's true? That's a fact?
I mean, right now, going with social media, a lot of guys I know are getting hate for being, showing off their feminine side, and like I know people think that's weird for guys to do like skincare and dress how they want because it's all about like that masculinity or whatever. But to me, it's just that like, who cares? Honestly,
and I really think TikTok is helped push the idea, the narrative about masculinity. Yeah. I mean, you look at it like people like, especially style, like that's what you're known for, Yeah. Your different styles. Like, what would you say was one of the videos that helped you blow up? Was when you were like changing your fit?
So one of the videos that really helped me blow up was really just dressing how I wanted to dress and not really caring about what other people think or following the norm of like what guys should wear and shouldn't wear, and like I painted my nails, and obviously there's a lot of guys out there, I'm not gonna say names, that really called me out for that, but I mean, hey.
Yeah, like, and that's to show you guys that like self-care isn't just limited to what's the typical idea of it. You're gunning from a doctor, a therapist. Is something as far as like stop caring about what people think.
Yeah.
What you wear. Like you break out of that idea, and then you finally get to accept who you are. You accept even the little things, like accepting your own fashion. Like it's so many little things about like the life we live in that people don't really look at that way.
And I think that like when you start wearing what you want to wear, it really shows out your character and your personality, because like that's what people look through. Like people want to find different versions of other people and not being the same, not following the stigma of oh, you have to wear this to be that.
You have to dress a certain way to be like, guy, simply like you didn't want to follow the trend. Your thing was like, you're like, I don't want to dress the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
Like you wanted to, it was a way for you to show your personality, you being unique yourself. Because I remember, because we all went to high school together, if y'all didn't know. And I remember Devin, he, even back then, before he was fully who he wanted to be himself, he dressed different. Like he really did kind of push it. Like he really did influence a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie, coming into my last year of high school, I did wear a Devin Bui fit with the little what's them boots?
Chelsea boots, huh?
Chelsea boots. I remember I went to the mall, I saw them, and I was like, damn. I was like, this is a little Devin right here.
Pretty fire.
If y'all saw me with the Chelsea boots and the little button-up shirt the first day, shout out to y'all. Thank you for anyone that complimented me. I did give credit to Devin though. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but. Okay, but I think we understand that it's not something that's feminine. Self-care isn't something that only girls do. I mean, a lot of times before it's depicted, girls in bubble baths, girls doing face masks, girls doing that, but the culture is really starting to change. You've seen dudes like you've seen a lot of like more brands appealing to men about skincare, because let's say you like skincare, that's the biggest thing that a lot of guys are kind of afraid of. They don't talk about.
Yeah, so I mean, like I kind of see why, because like a lot of boys, in my opinion, are really insecure about themselves. They really fear about getting judged from like their other guy friends. Like if you really have good hygiene, I'm telling you, I know all the guys, like you do this for the girls. And if you take care of your body, take care of your skin, dude, the girls are gonna come your way.
To my dudes out there, I mean, if that's what y'all care about, like ladies do appreciate a man that smells good, that takes care of himself. It not only just shows that you look good, but it shows that you care about yourself. Like it shows that you want to take care of your body. That's just a big thing. Like it's not different. Like, oh, why do I have to shower just because like, come on. It's not just for, like girls say they don't put on, girls don't, a lot of girls will tell you they don't put on makeup to attract guys. Like they don't put on the outfits they wear they do it because they want to feel good. They want to be confident in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the same idea that we got to take as men. Like we got to accept that you know, you're gonna have to take care of your skin. You're gonna have to, you know, like make sure you shower the right amount of times a day and things like that, because it's not just feminine to want to take care of yourself. Honestly,
if you look good, you feel good.
Look good, you feel good.
That's the way to go.
I think the next one, self-care is narcissistic and selfish. That's a little that's a little different. That's a heavy statement. That's a heavy statement. Selfish. Yeah. I think it falls from. Dang, I'm gonna mess up my chair. Look at me. But I think it comes from the idea that, like, whenever you practice self-care, some people think it's like you cutting off everybody. You're not talking to nobody. You just focusing on only yourself. It's you against the world. Like, that's not what it is, right? I don't.
Nah. To me, it's like, it's more so like, if you can't love yourself, you can't love others, you know. And if you take care, if you can take care of yourself, you can take care of others. Like, there is some instances where some people will think of that, you know. Like, for example, I'm not gonna say anything. It's just so, like, the more you take care of yourself, the more you know, figure out, like, who do you like, who do you don't like. You start to attract more people.
Exactly. It's like
just like you.
It's like that energy.
Yeah.
When you start,
it's that vibe.
Once I started just really focusing on myself, and it wasn't anything like I was cutting off my friends. I saw anybody that wanted to hang, I was still down and, like, you know, see them and do anything. But it's the idea that I had to stop saying yes to everything. You know, for me personally, I'm a person that I want to like be there for people. I want to always, I don't want to miss an event. I don't want to let no one down. So if someone asked me to do something, a lot of the times easily I would just say yes, you know. But I had to take time to look at myself, like, why are you even going to this? You know, like, are you even gonna have fun doing this? Like, you know, like just because this is your best friend, or like these are a group of people you known in high school, it's not selfish to say no. It's not selfish to be like, hey, I want to stay inside today. Hey, I want to focus on myself. You know, it's not at all.
There should be like a balance between, you know, having time for yourself and having time with some friends.
Definitely.
Everybody lives their own life, you know. Nobody's gonna have like the same path or the same way or the same future or whatever. Like, you know, like me, you know, for example, you know, I'm going to computer engineering, you know, like I hang out with my friends here and there, but sometimes I need to work for myself. Like, I have school to do, I have, you know, interns to go to, and like you, for example, you know, computer science major, you hang out, you go to parties, you hang out, do whatever, but there's, you know, you cut back some time to, you know, study, educate yourself and all that stuff.
Definitely. It's not selfish at all. I don't think it is. And I think you might get the wrong idea with, like I said, people cutting off, but you're cutting off negative people. You're cutting off, like, once you start taking care of yourself, you start to realize, like, there's some of the people around you don't need to be around no more. Some of the people are truly negative. A lot of people have that one friend that you know dang well you should not be friends with. You know they will talk mess about your back if you slip up.
That's true.
It's the whole idea of keeping you can say you're keeping your enemies close, but in reality, you're just destroying yourself. Like, because it's almost like you seek, when you have that one friend that's, you know, I guess you could say a hater. you trying to, everything you do kind of is like, oh, what are they going to think about me? What are they going to say about me? Like, you got to stop caring about that. And it's not selfish to like cut off someone that's, you know, not bringing anything positive to the table in your life. And that's the biggest thing I realized. And it's like also like social media. I think social media creates a lot of fake friends.
It really does. I'm not gonna lie. Some people are just really in it for the clout, and some people are just really want to be friends with you just because you're famous or whatever like that.
Yeah, we have two different perspectives here. We have the Mr. Devin Bui kind of picked up his little social following, and, you know, got people chasing after for the clout. And from my perspective is looking at it like, you know, when you're like, as simple as Snapchat, like you might be Snapchatting like 30 people, and it's like, I'm not even talking to 25 of them. I'm not even saying a word to 25 of them. That was for me. Yeah, it was